Hello, everyone. We are going to go ahead and get started. It's a minute past 8, and we are recording this session so that you'll be able to go back and watch the replay. And we want to really respect everyone's time. I know that this week is super busy. We are doing all the back to school things right now, myself included. My name is Hannah Shanks. If we haven't met yet, I'm super happy that you are here tonight to talk about having a back to school the healthy way. And if you're here, you probably have maybe had some rough back to school starts or seasons where things have not gone that well, and you feel like I need better tools, I need to be better equipped to handle the things that come at us in the school year, and you'd like to kind of get a plan or a strategy. I feel, I have also had those experiences, and I have two kids. My oldest is going into fifth grade this year, and my youngest is going into second grade. We have done all the things. We have done preschool, we have done homeschool, we have done co-op, and we have been at a small private Christian school the last couple of years. So we've done everything except public school, but sending your kids to school in any environment is honestly has a lot of the same challenges. And so we're going to talk about some of the things that I have used that are tried and true that I've used year after year as I send my kids to school in a variety of different environments as they've grown. These things have continued to work so well for us. And a lot of the tools we're going to talk about are from Young Living. We're also going to talk about some nutrition strategies because I am a holistic nutritionist. Nutrition is really one of my big passions. I feel like it goes hand in hand. It has to be a puzzle piece that pairs with your strategy to have a wellness approach instead of being reactive all the time. When you pair nutrition with natural tools like we have with our oils and supplements and things like that, is really where you get the best results. So we're going to talk about some of that as well. And a lot of the suggestions are going to be from Young Living. I should be able to see comments and questions and things like that as we go. But just feel free to chat in if you have questions or things that you want to say, and we'll go ahead and get rolling. So again, you can watch the replay after the fact if you want to go back and catch any of this stuff. So we're gonna start with kind of I think the most prevalent thing that's on most people's minds and the concerns that usually come with moms sending kids to school, especially the younger your kids are, the more of an anxiety that this is. And I am also that way, and that is staying well. So as soon as we start sending kids off to school, the germs start rolling in, right? They start bringing home more than just homework. And sick kids are the worst. So I just want to say I'm sorry. And also, you're not doing anything wrong when your kid gets sick. That is just part of life. And kids get illnesses, they catch stuff from each other a lot more frequently than older kids and adults. And so you really are putting in the hard work at the beginning, unfortunately, for helping your kids build an immune system. But in order for them to do that, they do kind of have to go through the process of just being sick more often. But that doesn't mean that you have to catch absolutely everything that goes around. And I do believe that you can build a strong immune system with some key tools in your toolbox. And so I'm a big believer an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. 100%. I'm a big believer in having an immune system protocol and being careful and consistent with that throughout the school year instead of doing nothing and hoping that nothing happens, because that's not really a strategy, right? That's if you're intentional, you're going to have a lot better results than if you are just like hoping nothing catches you. Okay, something is going to catch you eventually, and you're going to want to have good tools. And so here's the things that we have really used and recommend strongly that you do as kind of a daily protocol. And we're going to start with MU gummies. I actually have my packet of MU gummies here. You can also see it on the screen. MU gummies is one of my favorite things that Young Living has provided for us for those of us with children, but also for anyone. You can take them at any age. And they are an immune support supplement specifically for helping to build a healthy immune system. And they're an awesome way to get an infusion of key nutrients for your kids. And they're made with elderberry. And elderberry has been widely studied. You can go look on PubMed, you can go Google the benefits of elderberry, but this is a great source of elderberry. A lot of elderberry is like inactivated when it's made into capsules or supplements or things like that. A lot of times it's added with so much sugar that it's really worthless. And so this is an excellent elderberry source that is maintained intact. So the power of the elderberry is actually in these gummies, and we've seen excellent results with them. It also contains elderflower, which is a different part of the elderberry plant, but the flowers as well. Lime essential oil, which is specifically great for the upper respiratory tract, and then a specific form of beta glucans that is sourced from algae and that protects your cells against oxidative stress. And when you're exposed to illness or you're around a lot of toxins, viruses and things like that, your cells start to oxidate. And so those beta glucans is really, really helpful for helping with oxidative stress. So these MU gummies, they help to protect the gut barrier. They help to maintain key immune cells and their activity in the body, and they also support upper respiratory tract health specifically. And the cool thing is you just take two per day. This is not really a supplement that you ramp up or down. Like if you are sick, you have the whole bag. It's not really how it's meant to be, okay? So it's really just a daily elderberry, elderflower immune support supplement that you take one dose per day. You can increase a dose if you are ill. There's not going to be any harm in that, but it's not something that you're going to need to like mega dose if you are ill. It's really supposed to be daily consistent support. That is the most important. And so we love MU gummies. I have made my own elderberry syrup before. I still like to do that. I still make elderberry syrup if someone gets the flu, because we specifically will supplement. We'll keep our MU gummies, but we'll also specifically supplement with elderberry syrup for that. But honestly, the first year that MU gummies came out, I made zero elderberry syrup and we just used MU gummies instead. And we had the same results as far as immune support as we did when we were taking our homemade elderberry syrup every day during the flu season. And we didn't get the flu that year. We haven't had the flu in several years, thank goodness. But MU gummies have provided really excellent results for us. And you don't have the hassle of having to create the syrup and keep that in stock and make sure everybody's drinking just a tiny bit every day. Just the two chewables are great, great starting point. So that's what I would probably recommend the most, especially if you have a little kid going to preschool, going to kindergarten, and you're like, what can I give them that's going to help with the immune system so that maybe they don't get sick all the time? Do your MU gummies. Get your MU gummies, and get these on auto ship on your loyalty order, and just order these every month and give them to them every day. The next thing I would recommend, and this is not pictured here, but is Ningxia Red. A packet of Ningxia Red every day or most days. If your school allows you to, send it with your kids' lunch. I did that a long time when we did a homeschool co-op. I would send a packet with my daughter and her lunch. If you have the availability, like if you're doing lunch at home, if you're doing a half day school or something like that, feed it to them at lunch. I really like the Ningxia Red midday. It's a nutrient infusion, an antioxidant infusion that gives them a big boost of like vitamins, minerals, antioxidants, and just good stuff that helps them feel energized and a little bit woken up and able to tackle more things and helps their energy and things like that. But it also is great for giving their body an immune boost and helping them that helps with respiratory self health, stress recovery, all of those things. So, if you cannot send it to school, because I know some schools have a clear liquids policy, that's totally fine. Give them a packet in the morning with breakfast or give it to them as an after school snack when they get home. As long as you're giving it to them at some point during the day, it doesn't really matter what time of day it is. But that is one of the best things that I also recommend. As much as you can, putting that into your daily routine with your kids. Ningxia Red is such a great supplement that covers so many nutritional gaps and covers nutritional bases. So even if your kids aren't eating the best, healthiest diet, we love Ningxia Red for that, just to make sure that they are getting tons of vitamins and minerals and antioxidants in their diet that they might not be getting when they're eating cafeteria food or a home lunch, sent in a lunchbox and things like that. Another thing that we absolutely love to give, and I started this when my kids were preschool for sure, I think around 2 or 3, is a Super C chewable tablet. I love these because they are real food-based vitamin C. They're not a synthetic form. They are real food, whole food vitamin C, and they don't have any extra ingredients added to them. So a lot of vitamin C or immune supplements have extra ingredients. This is strictly vitamin C. And so you gives them a critical vitamin for immune support without feeling like you're giving them adult doses of a bunch of other things. And so we give one per day. My kids take one of these per day. And we will increase if they start feeling under the weather because vitamin C is something that your body burns through a lot of, and it's critical for helping the immune system and fighting off infection. And so you can actually take quite a bit of vitamin C. Your body can handle a lot. And especially it needs more, especially if you are burning through that vitamin or needing extra cellular support for your body to be fighting off something. So we will increase the vitamin C dose with Super C chewables if we need to. The next thing is a thieves roll on. This is such a simple strategy to have on hand for daily or maybe multiple times daily use. So the thieves oil is really cool. It's a blend of cinnamon, clove, eucalyptus, rosemary, and lemon essential oils. And if you don't know the story about thieves, it's a really cool story. You should Google like the Legend of Thieves oil or Five Thieves oil, I think is what it also is called. And so Gary Young created a blend of oils using that old legendary recipe from like the 1500s or something like that. And this oil blend is so excellent for immune system support. It kind of creates how I think of it is it helps to create like an immune shield around you. And so when you're putting it on your feet or on your spine or on your belly or on your neck or wherever really that you're gonna, wherever you want, really, this is such an easy button for helping kind of like, I don't want all the germs from everywhere else. It just kind of helps to create like a wall, a little bit of it's not just working on your immune system, but it's helping you to not catch everything. And when I was working in an office, this is one of my first oil stories. I was working in an office and we were passing around a cold like all the time. Someone would get it, we would all get it, we would get better, we would have a week or so, and then somebody would come and get another cold and we would all get sick again. It was miserable. And so I was new to oils, and I asked my boss if I could bring a diffuser at my desk and diffuse this thieves oil. I was like, it smells good. It would be similar to burning a candle as far as like smell, but it's like to help prevent the spread of germs is what I'm hearing, and I would like to try it so that I'm not getting as sick as often and not missing as many days of work. And so he agreed to let me try it to diffuse it. So we started diffusing thieves just at my desk. I had a little diffuser at my desk that I would turn on every day. I kid you not. We stopped passing around colds and we were so much healthier that winter than we were the previous winter. It was noticeable. Everyone in the office immediately noticed we are not passing around the germs like we used to, and we're getting better faster. It smells better in here. We're not coughing as much. We're not catching illnesses. And it was such a stark contrast where we really were able to kind of overcome that hump of us continuing to pass illness around. And I'll never forget that experience because I always come back to using thieves. We diffuse it in our house frequently, but we also put it on our bodies as often as possible, especially when the temperatures change and sore throats and coughs and sniffles and all of the junk starts getting passed around is we just put our thieves on. So I keep this in the car and also like in our bathrooms, and we just keep several thieves roll-ons in and pre-made bottles. You can buy them straight in the roll-on from Young Living. You don't even have to make them yourself. You can if you want to, but I just buy them pre-made. Stash one in my purse, keep them in the car, keep them in the bathroom. And I just remind people like, hey, put that on your back. Hey, put that on your belly, roll it on your throat. I pass it back to my kids in the car. They're old enough now to apply it themselves. That's one of our like daily things that we do as we're headed to school and we're almost there. I pass the thieves roller back. I say, hey, put this on. And they roll it around their necks because that's what's accessible. But it also just helps to create that shield for them so that they're not catching all of the junk all the time. And it really is super effective. I know that it might sound like woo woo and like, hey, that sounds too good to be true. I know so many other people who have similar experiences like that. And so, yeah, grab your Thieves roll on and make a point to use it multiple times a day if possible, at least once a day before or after an exposure being around other people. The last thing for staying well is vitamin D. We have a super vitamin D. I love these because they are chewable tablets that they kind of melt in your mouth and then you can chew them. So they're really easy for kids to take. They're very small size tablets. And there's so much research on how important sufficient vitamin D levels are for combating illness and your body helping provide respiratory support and a lot more. And so these are really yummy. Your kid is not going to have a problem taking them. They taste really good. They kind of taste like lime. They have really powerful essential oils infused into them that also help your body to combat all of the stuff. So they've paired it with oils that help with respiratory support and your immune system and things like that. So and they're very easy to dose as needed. So one tablet is 1000 IU of vitamin D. So you can give your kids one per day. You can ramp up if you need to, if you feel like you need more. And they're just a really easy supplement to remember to take. And these things are really easy to add to your kids' daily routines as you head back to school. Two MU gummies, a Super C chewable, and a vitamin D is a great supplement routine. You can do that at breakfast. You can do it before bed. None of them are going to be like energizing to keep your child awake. Give them a Ningxia packet. And another thing about staying well is that you really need to try and minimize sugar intake. I know that that's very challenging for children because kids really like sugar, and it seems like school environments are prime for giving kids candy for everything, right? So they're inundated with treats. It seems like from the moment they wake up until they go to bed, nonstop. And so I don't love that because the child's immune system really needs to start being built. And the more that we eat sugar, the worse your immune system is. Your sugar intake actually reduces your immune system's ability to function. And so when you eat like even 25 grams of sugar, which is like a can of soda or easily a child's birthday cake or a candy bar or something that a child might be given at school, 25 grams of sugar for multiple hours after ingesting that amount of sugar, a child's immune system will not be functional because the body is diverting energy to instead of creating immune cells and getting all of that working, it's diverting that to dealing with the influx of sugar, which causes oxidative stress. It causes a blood glucose response that then requires a lot of energy on the body to get that down and to do the whole like insulin into the cells and removing blood sugar from the blood and all that stuff. And so it's really best, as much as possible, to not feed things with added sugar and really get kids eating healthy as much as possible. Um, we want our kids strong and healthy, and that honestly starts with nutrition. And so we need to be helping them to eat real foods, fruits and vegetables as much as possible at every meal. Having protein, teaching them how to eat protein and how to value that, and just helping them to notice how their bodies feel when they eat a bunch of candy or a bunch of sweet stuff versus eating stuff that actually nourishes them. And I realize this is a challenge with children, and so it's not going to be done perfectly. Kids are going to have treats, but what you eat dramatically impacts your immune system. And so we can't just be like throwing supplements and throwing things at our kids and then feeding them sweet treats constantly and expect that to work out for us. And so, yeah, so just as much as possible, avoid eating lots of added sugars and just be mindful of what that does to the body so that you can make better choices. Okay, let's talk about clean hands. This is a big deal. Schools do try to do a good job at emphasizing hand washing. Hopefully your child's school and classroom does. And this is one of honestly the easiest ways to avoid illness when our hands are touching surfaces that are infected with germs and then we're touching our mouths and faces. That's a very, very easy way to get sick. And so that's something that we want to try to avoid. But we also know that um, our mainstream hand soaps and hand sanitizers are contaminated with toxic ingredients. And so, not just synthetic fragrance, which is problematic, but things that are carcinogenic, things that can disrupt our hormones, cause neurological issues, things that can disrupt our microbiome. And so that they can actually make our immune system worse instead of better. And so that's not great news, right? Because we want to have clean hands so that we're not spreading illness, but then we don't want to use the soap and the hand sanitizers and all of the things that are actually possibly doing more harm than good. It's definitely a trade-off. And so what I really like to do is prioritize using our Young Living cleaning products. So our Young Living hand soaps, the Thieves foaming hand soap. There's also several different flavors that smell really good that have just different essential oils added instead of Thieves. But I like the original Thieves foaming hand soap. We keep those pretty well stocked in all of our bathrooms and sinks and things like that throughout the school year. And so that we're disinfecting with Thieves. And there's also the Thieves waterless hand sanitizer. So this is an amazing alternative to like your Germ-X or Purex or whatever it is you're using for hand sanitizer. It smells incredible and also doesn't dry your hands out. It's not going to contribute to skin triggers. I have a skin trigger kid who is very sensitive skin, and she starts to get like eczema type rashes and things like that when we use harsh products. And so we have to be really careful that we're not doing anything to disrupt the microbiome, that we're not doing anything that's going to be like damaging organs. And toxic synthetic ingredients in soaps are harsh and they can often lead to those things. So if you have a child that struggles with that, and you're like, I am dreading the school year because their hands heal over the summer and then it's not very long before we're back at school, and you've kind of connected the dots that like the stuff at school is really damaging their skin. There are some alternatives. And so I recommend talking with your child's teacher and seeing if they can use a Thieves hand sanitizer at school instead of the regular, and just keep it with them, maybe at their desk or on their backpack. And then if they have a sink in their classroom, maybe send a bottle of the Thieves foaming hand soap for either your child or the whole classroom to use, depending on what you're comfortable with providing, so that there is a toxin-free version that's not going to bother your child's hands when they're having to clean their hands at school. And then, of course, that's what we use at home. And when we're out, when I'm providing that stuff, that's what we choose, just so that we're minimizing contact as much as possible. Okay, so yeah, you can send a bottle, like a big pump bottle of the Thieves hand sanitizer to school. And we have done that every year, and we just provide that for the teacher and say, like, hey, feel free to use this for your classroom, and then let me know when it's empty and I'll help you get a new one. And so we love to do that. Okay, let's talk about Ningxia Red for kids. I kind of have already talked about how great Ningxia Red is. This is such a great supplement. This is honestly one of the key ones that I would start with for all children, for really anyone of all ages, but especially with kids. If you're like, I'm not sure where to start to help my child have better nutrition and better gut health and better sleep and all of the things, Ningxia Red is definitely where I would start. If your kid is a picky eater, if you're wondering if they're getting enough nutrients and you wish, like, I just wish there was a way that I could like power you down in all of your preferences and like give you something good for you to like fortify you, this is Ningxia Red. So this is one of my favorite ways to support my kids nutritionally. I let them have a packet a day. I don't usually let them have 2 packets a day, even though they would, if I let them. But Ningxia Red is a whole food wolfberry puree that is blended with citrus essential oils and a superfood juice blend. So it has like blueberry, aronia, pomegranate juices, lot plum juice, all of those things, to have one of the highest antioxidant scores of that you can find on the market. And Ningxia Red has been clinically proven and studied to do things like support the body in reducing inflammation and oxidative stress and improving your sleep quality and quantity. It is studied to decrease physical limitations, decreasing stress, improving stress recovery, supporting the immune and respiratory systems in healthy function. And our kids need help with all those things too. If those sound like adult issues, but you're like, my kid has trouble sleeping and my kid has a hard time recovering from respiratory illness and all those things, you can feel really good about giving your kids a boost like this with just a daily dose of Ningxia Red. And I love that it comes in the little easy packets because those are really easy to give to your kids. Grab them, put them in the car for a car pickup, and you can let them have Ningxia on their way home or as soon as they get home or whatever. But I love to give Ningxia. I feel like it makes a big difference in my kids' overall wellness and their recovery, especially when you've got athletes. Ningxia is great for kids who are playing sports or doing extracurricular activities that are requiring a lot of their bodies, just knowing that you're fortifying them with a lot of nutrients in one stop. Let's talk quickly about blood sugar balance in kids. I know that blood sugar has been a little bit of a hot topic over the last several years. I think it definitely should be. I think we're learning a lot about how our bodies work and how we have not really been taking great care of them with some of the food choices and the ways that we eat, especially as Americans. But I think that we think that that's an adult issue and kids don't have to worry about it. But blood sugar is definitely a big deal for kids as well. So if your kids get irritable when they don't have a snack frequently, or if they feel like they're eating all the time, and they just eat like they only want sugary breakfasts and then they crash later on, or they just kind of seem emotionally out of control, and you're like, I don't even know why. Like, why are you being so out of control? Why are your emotions so big, so out of control? You are not imagining things, and 88% of the US population, possibly more, struggles with blood sugar, and kids are the same. They have the same needs and the same struggles with adults. They might just express it a little bit differently, where an adult might be like, man, I just have like so much brain fog. I feel really foggy. I feel really tired, or I feel emotional, or I feel super hangry, or anything like that. Sometimes kids just don't have the vocabulary to tell us that that's what they're feeling. But mood, memory, behavior issues, and all of that could be that you're struggling with excess glucose from too much sugary foods. So most of us have too much glucose in our system, and that we can have brain fog, emotional instability, memory and recall issues, irrational behaviors, getting hangry can affect our sleep, tons more. And so I've got a few simple tips for you that you can start practicing with your kids now that will help them balance out their blood sugar and just for them to feel overall better a lot more frequently. So again, with kids, this isn't going to be perfect. They're going to choose junk food sometimes, much to our dismay. But if we can help them kind of prioritize these things. So eating something with fiber first at every meal. So eating your veggies first, having a salad first. Um, Sorry, thank you for my water break. This could even be berries with breakfast or something like that. Something with fiber first to get in your belly first thing before you start eating the rest of your meal. Eating your meals in a specific order, so fiber first, then your protein, and then last, ending with your carbohydrate instead of just plowing through with a donut and then um trying to get protein in or anything like that. If you do veggies and fiber first and then protein and then carbs, this actually slows down the absorption of the carbohydrates into your system, and that is going to result in a lower blood sugar spike. So if you eat dessert, of course, kids are not going to want to give up dessert and sweets altogether, but they need to be eating it at the end of a protein-rich meal and not eating it alone. Okay, so no naked carbs, no carbs without fiber and protein together or eating the fiber and protein first and then eating your carb. And then get moving. Kids are really good at naturally moving, but kind of getting into the habit of like taking a walk after dinner or doing a fun dance video, doing some sort of body movement, getting your body moving after a meal will dramatically help to lower your glucose spikes, and that's going to help to even out energy. And so work with your kids, explain some of these strategies and then work together as a family to really put them into practice so that you're all working on better balanced blood sugar. And everyone will feel better, be sleeping better, have a more steady energy throughout the day, and be more in control of your emotions within just a matter of days. So that's kind of a nutrition tip that will help a lot as you head into the school year. Okay, let's talk about great sleep. So diffusing at bedtime is one of the best ways to help a kid unwind at nighttime instead of them as much as we would like for kids to just be like, okay, I'm going to bed, good night, and they just like drift off easily. Often bedtimes becomes a battle. And aromatherapy can be one of the best ways to influence the brain to shut down. It can signal to the brain that it's time to wind down and help them to settle more easily and help bedtime to be a little less chaotic. So about 20 to 30 minutes before bedtime, before you want them to go to sleep, we recommend that you start filling the diffusers so that they can be breathing in the aroma of the essential oils as they're kind of doing a bedtime wind down routine. So like we do taking supplements, we read a book and we have the diffusers going, or we've used oils or something in some way, just so that they can be winding down. We can't just force a power off button and force them to be sleepy and go to sleep. But studies show that diffusing essential oils during your sleep can improve the duration, quality, and depth of your sleep and make it easier for you to go to sleep. So, some of the diffuser blends for great sleep that we love, these are super easy. Most people already have these oils, and if you don't, you can grab them in a starter kit that comes with the diffuser. But you can grab 2 drops of cedarwood and lavender, 2 drops of peace and calming and lavender. Those are great combos, easy combos. 2 drops of stress away and frankincense. I personally love that one. And then 2 drops of cedarwood, vetiver, and frankincense. Vetiver is very calming. It's like a much deeper oil. It doesn't smell the best. I like the smell, but this is a great one for also with like your brain racing and anxious thoughts and things like that. Vetiver is a really good one for that. So some diffuser recipes for you if you'd like that slide so that you can have those recipes. I'm happy to send that your way, but just filling the diffuser with a couple of drops of essential oils as you're doing your wet wind down routine can honestly make a huge difference in how you feel, how you're sleeping, how easy it is for you to sleep, sleeping through the night, all of those things. If your child is really struggling, there are some sleep supplements that we can recommend. So there are some specific sleep roll-ons you can put on the skin. Have your child roll them on their chest, roll them on their feet. You could roll them on their wrists, things like that. Sleepy Eyes is specifically a kid's oil blend. This is one of my favorite sleep oils, actually. And then Rutavela is also a roll-on blend. Root vanilla does not smell very good, okay, but it does work. So the trade-off is that it's not going to be your like favorite smell ever, but the more you use it and the more consistently you use it for sleep, actually, the more it will help you to drift to sleep quickly and easily. And it's an excellent oil for sleep. It makes me feel very calm very quickly. It definitely induces sleepiness. So some other supplements that you might consider is Kidsense Unwind. Oh, okay, so Kidsen's Unwind is a magnesium and L-theanine supplement, and that it has, I think, lavender and chamomile oils added to it. And so this is like a little packet that they empty into their mouth, and it helps them promote, have like a calm state of mind, helps to ease irritability or anxiousness. And so for kids who are struggling with like attention, behavior, restlessness, have a hard time calming down or winding down, even if it's not necessarily at bedtime, but just at some point during the evening routine to give them an unwind packet if they're needing to like calm down and focus on homework or something like that. An unwind packet can be a really great thing to give them. It also helps with like occasional anxiety, nervousness, things like that that might be keeping them from sleep, is a great option. MU Pro is also another great option. And if your child is under like the age of 5 or so, I would cut the MU Pro in half or in thirds or whatever. You can cut it with a knife fairly easily. It's a chewable tablet. And MU Pro has Ningxia wolfberries and some fruit like strawberry powders. And then it also has some melatonin in it. And I love Pro because it gives your immune system a big boost. We often will take it if we're like starting to not feel that great, and it will help us sleep, help us fall asleep, stay asleep. And then I always wake up feeling noticeably better when I've taken an Pro. So I really like that one personally for me. But if I have a child who is like having a hard time falling asleep and they come to me and they're like, I've been trying to fall asleep, but I'm like, if they're nervous about something or feeling anxious or anything like that is going on, or they're really excited or something, is just keeping them awake. And MU Pro is what I always reach for. And my kids know it helps. Sometimes they'll even come out, I think I need an MU Pro because they know that it helps them fall asleep and kind of turn their mind off a little bit. And so I like to give MU Pro. And especially if I can tell that maybe they're feeling a little bit run down or they've been exposed to something or maybe they're on the tail end and they just need a good night's sleep to help kind of kick something. And MU Pro is going to be an excellent supplement for that. Okay, let's talk about gut health. Oops, let me go back. Gut health for kids. So, gut health is very important if your child struggles with nerves or, just gut issues, maybe irritability, or they have struggle with like going frequently or anything like that. Gut health is not just something that plagues adults. It is something that children we have to kind of be aware of with our kids too. So, a few things for gut health that are super helpful. One, Ningxia Red, that wolfberry puree and all of the fibers and essential oils and things that are in that are very helpful for helping with regularity and just supporting overall gut health. It helps with detox pathways. It helps your kids have like a better gut lining because of some of the nutrients that are in the Ningxia wolfberry. And then another great thing to add to their daily routine is a Mighty Pro packet. So this is a pre and probiotic supplement that comes in a little packet. It tastes like a pixie stick, so kids love it. They just empty it into their mouths. And this gives their gut over 8 billion active live cultures of beneficial bacterial strands that are going to help keep them healthier long term. So it not only helps with their digestive system and any kind of digestive complaints that might be going on or digestive needs, but it helps specifically these strands help them to miss fewer days of school and to succumb to illness less often. And it feeds the beneficial bacteria in their gut, which is what you want. If you have a child that maybe has some foods bother their stomach, or maybe you can just tell they're having a hard time like breaking down their food, or their tummy hurts after they eat, or anything like that, I highly suggest adding Mighty Zymes. This is the children's chewable enzyme tablets from Young Living, and I love these things. So if we're traveling and I know that we're eating like restaurant food, processed food, things that we're not usually eating that might have ingredients that we're not used to, or if my kids are complaining of a tummy ache, or I just know that we're having something that's going to be hard to break down, I will give them a Mighty Zyme tablet to help their tummies feel better. And they always, I feel like, always help. I also take digestive enzymes from Young Living. There's Essential Zymes 4, which is my preference. And I do the same for myself. So I like to take enzymes to help my own body break down the food that I'm eating so I get more nutrients out of it and have less intolerances or less reactions to various foods. So those are some great gut health options. Okay, lastly, let's talk about emotions because this is also a big topic when it comes to back to school is big feelings, right? Kids have big feelings, they feel nervous. There's a lot of transition. Even good transition can do a lot for our body. We went to back to meet the teacher tonight, like back to school night to drop off our supplies and things like that. And I could just tell even heading into that, which was like not a brand new environment. We knew our teachers, we like new friends and all that stuff at our school. It's just the nerves of starting over again and starting a new season, going into new classrooms, just starting a fresh year does bring some anxiety. And so there are big emotions at play. And these are some of my favorites just to help us get kind of through the big emotions or deal with big emotions as they come up throughout the school year. So one is stress away. I personally like to use this one for me. This is a great one for moms who are feeling stressed and don't want to pass that on to your kids, or if a kid is specifically, you can tell they're just under stress. Stress away is meant to help your body deal with cortisol. So I actually like to put stress away on my stomach. I would recommend you put it on the location where you're feeling the stress. So if it's at the back of your neck, put it on your stomach, put it on your throat, wherever. If you're feeling the tension, put it on that location. Um, Endoflex, specifically if your child has had a big emotional outburst or like a very big emotional response or stress response, Endoflex helps your endocrine and adrenal system return back to baseline. And so a lot of times, a child will have a hard time like re-regulating again, getting back to a regulated state after they've had that. And so I really like to put Interflex on over their adrenal glands. It's right on top of your kidneys. And so I'll put that on their lower back, kind of on top of their kidneys. I also will put some on their forehead or on the bridge of their nose just for the aromatic influence of that oil. But we love to use Endoflex, and it always only takes a matter of minutes to see a difference between dysregulated, feeling very emotional, having a meltdown to much calmer, a much more regulated state where they feel like they've collected themselves. So it's really cool to watch. I definitely recommend having that one on hand. Kitsen's Kid Power is a fun oil. It's a blend of, it actually includes Valor, but then it has vanilla and tangerine essential oils. So it's a fun, like perfume kind of oil for your kids. It helps to promote feelings of courage and bravery, that feeling of like, I've got this, I can do this. So we love to use this the first few weeks of school as kids are kind of getting used to things and getting used to new routines and new environments and things like that. As they're feeling more nervous about doing things, we always reach for this one if we're like going to a doctor appointment or things like that, just because kids tend to feel more nervous about stuff like that. And so we like to reach for this one. So it smells really good. Your kids are going to love the smell of it. It's going to smell like a fun, kind of like, and just it's really enjoyable scent to smell. So I like to diffuse this one. We have a car diffuser, and I will often diffuse this one on our way to school just to help kind of give everybody a boost, an emotional boost. But you can also, if your child like really struggles with going into a new environment or something like that, and you're able to give them like a paracord bracelet or any kind of like bracelet or necklace or any type of jewelry that they're able to wear, that they can just put a couple of drops onto that fabric or that cloth or bracelet or whatever. And then that way they can smell it themselves. And so you're kind of giving them something that's going to help them feel more calm and remember those feelings of like, yeah, I've got this. I can be brave. When you're not always with them. And the more that you can encourage them to do that, the more that actually anchors that emotional response for them. And so the scent of that starts to work really quickly where they smell Kid Power and like more faster and faster their brain is like, "Oh, I've got this. I am brave. I can do this. I can go in and like do a new thing. I've got this." So that's really fun to help and watch that kind of work on your child's brains. Frankincense is really good for anxious feelings, nervousness, maybe deeper feelings where like maybe if your child is going through any kind of grief or traumatic event or any kind of thing that they're processing more heavy emotions, frankincense is a great one for kids just to help them, especially like diffusing or helping them, put it on their wrists and smelling or diffusing nearby, things like that. but getting frankincense near them will help them with kind of some deeper, heavier emotions. And then Valor, if you don't have Kid Power, you can definitely use Valor. It's very similar in effect. Valor is one of my favorite oils. I use it as perfume very frequently. It just helps you to have those feelings of confidence and courage as well. Going into a conversation that you're not looking forward to, or doing something that feels hard and challenging or scary or anything like that, helps you to feel like more courageous in doing that as well. So, those are great oils for emotions. Pick and choose. You'll kind of find which ones work best for your kids and their needs and your family, and you'll probably find some favorites among those that you can reach for more consistently. And for when it comes to emotions, the more consistent you are with supporting with oils and reaching for them consistently, the better that emotional anchor and response is going to be, especially with this type of thing. The emotional support needs to be consistent, and you'll start to see the payoff a lot better. The more consistently that you use that. Okay, focus support. A lot of kids struggle with paying attention and focusing. You as a parent or caretaker are going to have a gut feeling on whether that is true, like their true needs, or if the environment is asking too much of them. I'm a big believer in taking lots of breaks, big body movement for little boys, things, doing everything that you possibly can for what your kid needs developmentally at an age appropriate level without just saying like they can't focus, But a lot of times we do start to recognize, okay, they need some support. Their body is struggling and they need some help slowing down, paying attention to their surroundings. They need to be able to like lock in. We need to help them lock in if they need to focus and things like that. So, I would encourage you to trust your gut on that and pay attention. But there are some things that you can do and use and help them use that will help them to focus. So, a lot of people love the unwind packets for this specifically. It definitely helps to slow the brain down a little bit, helps them to kind of engage with emotions so that they stay a little bit more regulated. The ingredients in that help with that. Vetiver is also going to be a great one for helping with emotional regulation and like helping with focus support. You can again use the diffuser jewelry if you're sending them into a school environment where you're not going to be around to be able to like apply oils or diffuse nearby. Making like a blend of vetiver, frankincense, lavender and lemon is going to be a great focus support blend. There's also a blend, I don't think it's on this slide, but there's a blend that's pre-made called Genius Blend, and it's specifically for kids for focus support. My kids really like that one. And I will just roll that on the back of their necks if I feel like they're needing some help with kind of locking in and helping with homework focus and studying and things like that. Frankincense, peppermint, citrus fresh, lavender, all of those are going to have slightly different effects and might work better for your individual child than others. Peppermint is great for mental clarity. I like to just dab some behind my ears. You can diffuse it nearby for focus and attention and things like that. Citrus fresh again is going to feel really happy, bright, uplifting, and the citrus oils specifically have been studied to help with like attention, focus, things like that, and also just uplifting the mood. And lavender has been studied to show that it increases those calm waves in the brain. I think it's beta waves. Um, where it helps to kind of decrease the hyperactivity and to help like find the more calmer state so that you can focus and pay attention. So, the cool thing about oils is that they're adaptive. And so it's not necessarily going to like put you to sleep if you use lavender and vetiver during study or school time, even though you might also be using similar oils to that for bedtime. And so depending on what the body needs to be able to do, the oils are going to help the body and brain do that, which is really cool. So again, experiment with these, see which ones work for you the best and make the biggest difference. And then also work with your child on what they need. If they need to get up and run around the house a few times, they need to do jumping jacks, if they need to listen to music or have headphones or anything like that, you can kind of pair those with some oils and see what supports work best. Okay. There's some focus blend recipes. 2 drops of each oil, lavender, vetiver, frankincense is a great recipe, and then citrus fresh, peppermint, and frankincense could be a great combo. Those all smell good together and will help work. So the Genius blend has Idaho blue spruce, cedarwood oil, melissa, bergamot, and all of those. So it helps with anxious thoughts, helps with focus, helps with attention, increases productivity, helps them maintain a positive attitude. I really like that blend. I like blends that are pre-made, just that I don't have to think about blending things. But that's one that I definitely recommend grabbing. Okay, school supplies swap. If you're sending your child into a classroom and your teacher is okay with it and the school is okay with it, I have never had a problem with this, but every school is different. And so I would definitely encourage you to communicate with your teacher about what you would like to see happen and what they can accommodate. But I always send a bottle of Thieves Household Cleaner into my teacher's classroom or into my kid's classroom for the teacher. I put their name on the bottle. I fill it with pre-made cleaner. It's already diluted, ready for them to use. And I just say, hey, this is like a surface cleaner for your room. It smells really good. It's non-toxic. And we really struggle with skin sensitivity issues and some respiratory things that we would like to keep at bay. And we really have noticed that the cleaners that we use make a big difference. And so feel free to use this. And then when it's empty, please send it home with my child and I will refill it and send it back to you. So I just refill the bottle and I give that as a gift to the teacher. I also do that with hand sanitizer, and I at least request that my child uses that hand sanitizer because it makes such a difference for things like eczema, asthma, allergies, neurological headaches, respiratory. So if your child has any of those needs, you should definitely consider having this conversation with their school and with their teacher because it will make a big difference if you minimize their contact with these types of, with the toxic versions of these things. And then I know Lysol wipes, everybody's asked to bring the Lysol wipes to school pickup or just like meet the teacher night. I'm going to drop them off with school supplies. And so I always provide a container of our Thieves surface wipes, which is a disinfecting wipe. And it comes in a container that's very similar. And so again, I just request if my child needs to use a Clorox wipe to help clean the classroom or clean a surface, could she please just use these so that they're not bothering her skin? Because we have had contact irritation and rashes and problems with using Clorox wipes. We just really would rather not. Once I've explained my reasons and that I want to help the classroom be safer and that I'm willing to provide these supplies for my child to use and the teacher's free to use them as much as she wants, and that I will replenish them as kind of a service or a gift, I've never had anybody be like, no, we're not doing that. Of course, you might have a different experience and you might just have to do the best you can with what you're able to control, like when your child's with you. And that's okay. But I still think it's worth having a conversation and requesting that you send some special cleaning supplies, some disinfecting supplies that are non-toxic, that you know are safe and are not going to contribute to problems, especially if your child has sensitive skin and things like that. So, okay. Athlete support. For older kids, we definitely, the Ningxia Red, they also need a lot of electrolytes, especially if they're having practices outdoors in the heat. The heat is very intense right now. And so electrolytes, AminoWise is a BCAA supplement, so a branched chain amino acid that helps with recovery and muscle recovery. And so if you have an athlete that's spending a lot of time outdoors, they're going to need those minerals. And this is a really clean version. It doesn't have any synthetic flavors or sweeteners or anything in it. And of course, Ningxia Red. We love Ningxia Red, especially for the athletes and the active kids, as they need a lot of nutrition and they're using up all of their nutrition. And so that's a great bioavailable way to get them just some extra antioxidants and nutrients into their system. Okay. Let's talk about how you can grab kind of some of what we have talked about. Everything we've talked about, there's options for you to grab in different collections that are at a great price point that gets you a discount. So you're saving at least like $30 to $60 if you're buying, if you're going to get a bundle, and that way you get a variety of some of the things that we have talked about in the class tonight. Of course, you can always just add whatever specific items you want to an order at Young Living, and you can order that on your account. Make sure you ask your friend who invited you to the class tonight for their referral link. Because every unique Young Living member has a unique referral number that we can share with you, and we would love to be able to be your affiliate. So Young Living is very generous in giving affiliate commissions and kickbacks to the person who shared, just to say thank you for sharing with your friends and helping them learn about oils as well and how to get started with these products. So if you'd like to get like a large bundle of products, it comes with Ningxia, 12 different oils, most of them we talked about tonight. So you would get a huge collection of all of the frankincense, lavender, peppermint, lemon, Digize, Raven, Valor, all of those good things, plus a hand sanitizer and a diffuser. You can get the premium starter bundle that comes with a diffuser. I believe the diffuser is a little bit different looking than this specific one, but it would be similar. So a similar diffuser that comes with a 1 year warranty. So This is definitely a great price point and way to get started. You get a huge variety of products, lots of different oils to try at a really big discount. So definitely recommend if you're thinking about, okay, I need to give these oils a try. I'm going to try a bunch of the different things for them. I would recommend getting that one. If you want to get started with Thieves products, I love this Make a Shift Healthy Happy Home Kit. It comes with a Thieves cleaner, a dish soap, a spray bottle. You get a kitchen scrub, a Thieves laundry soap, which we didn't even talk about, but we wash our clothes with Thieves also. You get a bunch of awesome Thieves cleaning products plus a lemon and Thieves essential oil. And that's only 112. And I have a coupon code for taking an extra 10% off of all of these bundles. The Make a Shift Essential Solutions also comes with a diffuser. It comes with a deep relief and peace and calming roll-on, and then several oils, purification, lavender, peppermint, and thieves. So you can get started with the good collection, a little bit smaller collection of oils and diffuser for helping with kind of some of your wellness needs. And then if you want to get started with Ningxia, there is a Make a Shift daily wellness kit that comes with a whole box of Ningxia pouches. You get 30 of those pouches. You get a box of Ningxia Nitro, which is like a little, it's kind of like an energy boost. It's not like, it doesn't have caffeine or anything, but it has, it's going to be cognitive energy boost. So like for moms, when you need to be able to lock in and focus and like get through your homeschool day or get through your work day or whatever, it's a great little energy boost that's not going to cause any crashes or have anything synthetic. And then it also comes with tangerine and lime essential oil. So those are some great options for getting started. You really can't go wrong. You can add any of the specific items that we talked about. If you want to grab Unwind or you want to grab any of the oils that we talked about, you can make your first order through your friend as a referral, and we'll give you a coupon code that you can use to save an extra 10% at checkout. And then we are happy and would love to help you learn how to use your oils, answer any questions that you have, and plug you into our groups where we have daily education, people asking questions about oils, so that you're never alone in figuring out how to use them and incorporate them into your children's life and to your daily routine. We really want to help make it easy and doable for you so that you feel confident in using the products that you get. That's the best part of Young Living is that you get a bunch of friends who also love to use these things, and we give you ideas and help you do that along the way. So that was a lot of information. Thank you for sticking with me if you stuck around till the end. And if you're watching the replay, hopefully you've learned a lot. And we would love to help you get started with whatever you feel like meets your needs with Young Living. And we hope that you have a really healthy and wonderful start to the school year and that you implement some of these strategies, whatever you're able to, and just choose some things that you feel like are going to help you on a better trajectory, maybe through some of the things that you struggled with in the past. And we wish you all the best and your kids, and we hope you have a great start to the school year. So thanks for hanging out with us tonight, and we will talk soon and see you all later. All right. Bye bye.